Yes, we have almost enough money there now. Plus Gorilla. Surprisingly, so does MASH, actually. All right, so that's wrong. Okay, guys, I didn't realize I actually triggered the live stream. Sorry, I was getting things set up. Anyway, I got to get more organized about this. Okay, so want to orient. We've talked a lot about how to generate leads, and we've talked a lot about the leads we're getting, and how to call them, and how to use batch leads and other stuff. It's important that we talk about. Hey, Connor, how you doing? All right. So we covered yesterday, and I'm trying to find a better way to organize the YouTube. I have my VA working on that to make things easier to find, to make some sort of a directory out of it. I don't know. I haven't figured that out, but some organized way. But first, I want to start by showing where the YouTube is and what you're looking for, so that, and before I do that, I'm just going to open this up real quick. But I'm also going to X out of that. So this is going to be our AI voice assistant with REI Reply. And the AI voice assistant is going to do two things. More than two things, whatever. One is it's going to outbound call leads. This is not in replacement for you guys. Honestly, it's because we know you all have lives. We know you all have other businesses, and you're doing this part-time and whatever, in many cases. This is about making sure that everybody gets touched a different way. The callers don't know the AI is you, or they don't know the back end is the same. They don't need to know. We don't want them to know. This is just to make sure that everything gets touched and everything gets in the system. Once the AI gets something in the system, then it'll be assigned back out to one of you guys and whatever, but really generating your own leads is it. So, and we do want to do, and this just occurred to me over the weekend, because I was all like, rah, we're going to do bulk texting. And then I hit a brick wall realizing that we bought these leads. These are not opt-in. We'd like to hear from Steve Franco leads. People didn't fill out a when you go and see the Caribbean vacation things at the mall or the home show saying, win a Caribbean vacation, you're opting into somebody's marketing program. Okay. I don't really know where these companies got leads, but they probably got them the same way we do. They got them from a batch leads kind of company where, oh, John Smith owns a property. So no one opted in to say, I wish to have a conversation. So texting is technically not a line. Legally, it's a line. So we're rolling into AI voice first and maybe AI voice drop, because those are not as regulated. We will get into mass bulk texting and mass bulk emailing, but I realize they're going to kind of stop a step short. Also, these communications in this AI dialer do not connect with our main CRM. Batch leads does not connect with our main CRM. You will move the data into our main CRM. Hey, buddy, you can catch up. We're just kind of going over the AI dialer, the AI texting and stuff. And I'll get into how the CRM works and what you guys will be doing. One of the big things I want to do in the next 4 or 5 business days is have everyone reach out to me, make sure we get you logged into the CRM. You know what to do with it, whatever. So this is stuff goes into the form, and then within the CRM, how you move it and how you update the information. Because one thing that we discovered is not doable reasonably is you fill out the form once. If you fill it out again, it's another entry. It doesn't know how to connect those two. So you have more information on a certain lead, you're going to go into the CRM to add that more information. I'm just kind of realizing my appetite for what I think is possible and my reality of what the developers can do within our budget are two different conversations. Anyway, the third thing we're going to be adding is a referral program. You bring a buyer in or a seller in, and maybe some other agent actually runs the deal down. I mean, somebody else that's totally in a different company. We still get a referral. That's a topic for probably February. So we have the AI dialer. We have a lot more leads coming in that will be sent out to you guys and made available to you guys and so on and so forth. What I also wanted to show is, no, not the gloves. I wanted to show YouTube. And this is the YouTube channel that we're live on right now. In all honesty, this is not us. Us is here, and I most importantly want to show you guys. So you see up here, and most importantly, this part. I can't seem to blow it up. Oh yeah, it blows up when I do that. That's it, right there. YouTube.com/@SteveFrancoREI. That's our page. So my page, whatever. Now, videos are under, shockingly enough, home. They're there. There's yesterday's. Whatever. There's lives. Oops. There's lives. Okay. So everything we do ends up here. I got to get my VA back on organizing this crap, but everything we do ends up here. So you miss a call, you miss a bunch of calls, you're here. Also, I know that these calls are, scheduled at a certain time, but try to make sure you watch them on a computer. Be here live on whatever device you can, but I'm doing a lot of screen time, and screen time is hard on the phone, just the orientation. I don't know that you guys can even see my screen right now, but this over here is what I look like on a phone, because it's a horizontal screen on a vertical design. So unfortunately right now, this is what Alex is seeing on his phone. Really hard to read. Your phone is small enough, then it's shrunk down by this and just whatever. So, all right. So one of the things I need you guys to do is to schedule with me, text, whatever, schedule with me a time to get you in the CRM and show you around. The other thing I want to show is, I was looking into heated gloves and I discovered that they're kind of, they're a little more than I would necessarily want to spend. I haven't decided to buy them yet, but we went sledding this weekend and I was like, holy fuck, that's cool. So within my calendar, and this is a fairly consistent daily. So I have my day broken down, and this is, you guys are open to text me anytime. I don't want to limit the conversation, but I have 2 blocks of time open calls in which the calendar link I will send you today will get you in. You have open calls here, here, here. I think there's another one further down here. No, it's 3, sorry. So you have 3 open calls where the calendar link will get you in, meaning you could just schedule blindly. Other times, just text me and we'll get you in, or call me if you need me. If it's something important, always, that's fine. I'm open to you. But just when you use the calendar link, you're going to see 3 blocks. And the reason is, for me, I'm trying to say, okay, this hour and a half, I'm not really taking calls unless somebody specifically asks, and I'm okay with it. It's just my way of filtering. So I'm not filtering you guys out. I'm just saying, if we're going to have some seller call, if we can land on these calls, that's better, nicer, but not necessarily. So I'm going to post this into the chat now. And I'll send it to you other ways as well. So does anybody have any questions from yesterday? Anything we wanted to cover? Anything like that? All right. So then, like I said, the biggest thing for you guys to be doing is generating leads by calling sellers. And the first thing I want to be honest with you about is it's boring. It is not an exciting job. It is not. It's easy in terms of like it's hell of a lot better than digging a ditch or shoveling snow, but it's not easy in terms of um, anything resembling feeling like you're getting a high return. Okay, so here's the important thing to understand. You may make 100 calls to get one deal to sign or deal to close. Just picking a ratio. And that might take you, you might get 90 hangups, 9 don't want to talk to you, and 1 let's have a conversation. All right, great. So when those 90 hangups took you all of 30 seconds each. So that took you 45 minutes. The 9 going nowheres took you another 5 minutes each. So that's another 45 minutes. So now you're at an hour and a half. And then the 1, let's have a conversation, was a 15, 20-minute conversation. So you're at 2 hours tied up. Now let's say, and again, I'm using scary numbers purposefully. Let's say it took 5 of those to end up with something actually closing. Sorry, I haven't seen Nair in a while. I want to make sure I ask him about Cincinnati. And Alex, don't forget, we have to circle back with what do you call it? Newark. So let's say it takes you 5 of those to get a deal that actually closes. So you've now committed 10 hours. And to get a deal to close is probably another 10 on top of that. So you're at 20, 30 hours in on one closing. But let's say you're 20 hours in. And that's $1,000 check. That's $50 an hour. Let's say it's like Nair had Garfield, Ohio. That was a $3,500 check. So that was $150 an hour. So all I'm saying is it doesn't take a lot. Compare $1,000 check against what you guys take home in a week. And I'm not at all putting anybody's income down or up. I'm just saying, even for me, this is a slow month. I only have 2 deals closing. However, each one of those deals is a few $1,000s. I shouldn't say I probably have 5 deals closing, but whatever. The point is, it's a slow month. The closings are not that frequent, but when they are, they're pretty substantial. You might have on self-storage or commercial a whole nother number. There might be another 0 hanging off the back end of that. So the point is, don't give up. This is slow. But it can be slow, but it will pick up. The more you do it, what does the sobriety group say? It works if you work it. It's a numbers game. It's also a game of, and honestly, guys, I'm a little bit, and this is not to anybody on this call, you guys are typically here, but for the ones that are watching this later, hopefully, you got to reach out and get on the phone with us and saying, hey, I need developmental help. Hey, I need ideas. Hey, I need this, or hey, this is it. If you're doing fine and you're comfortable, go for it. Keep going. This is a sales job. That's what this is. So where was I going? Oh yeah, here. So let me walk you through a typical script. So, and this is the script you have, so nothing special, but I'm just going to kind of walk you through how it looks. Real basic introduction, and it's conversation. Okay, it is chit chat. Now, this is probably a bad way to say it. Honestly, the script isn't that great here. This is where you personalize it for yourself. You know, I understand you own the way I do it. Hey, you own 123 Main Street in Pittston? Or I'll be like, hey, you own something in Pittston? Yeah, I do. Oh, what do you own? Oh, we're on Main Street. Okay, cool. What do you think of the place? Well, town's okay, but kind of don't want the house anymore. Oh, perfect. Or you go right at it. You know, hey, listen, you got 123 Main Street, maybe some other properties. I'm looking to buy real estate in that area. What can you do to help? You know somebody selling? Are you selling? Experienced local buyers, and this is the important part. We're the buyers. We're not. We kind of are, but we're not. But they're not dealing with some faceless corporate whatever. Without the need for a real estate agent and any commissions, any condition, we don't care. Like Connor sent me one today. Happens to be listed because it's a side project I'm working on, possibly, but and why should I sell to you as a real estate agent? Because first of all, we are brokers. We can help that way too. But if we buy direct, you have to pay commission fees. Plus, we close the deal much faster. We're not afraid of any fixer-uppers or a perfect property. In fact, we love them. Yada yada yada. You know, great. And then let's get some information. Now, once we're talking about the house, you're not really ending the call here. It's if now go to questions. If later, schedule. Okay. And then you're rolling through the questions. Now, your probably next question is, what are the questions? Okay. Questions to ask seller. And again, none of this is torturous. And none of this is rigid. Okay. We're going to want you to give us the answers. Okay. So we give you both answers at the same time. But your conversation with them has to be more conversational than rigidity. Single, multi, blah, 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 blah. Repairs and renovations. Does it need? And there's a good stack of questions. And a good place to start is, so this is a good stack of questions. Why are you selling? Do you live there? Any other owners? Let's get the story going. You don't say that to them bluntly, but you want to get them chatting. Structural issues, recent upgrades, mortgage, taxes. Why are you motivated? But you guys have the form. The form is another set of questions. So the form is a good place to go to. So that's where a lot of this, so that's what you're walking through. Is you're walking them through, and I'm actually going here to put the real estate dial script. Now, I'm just building connections between this all to make sure that you have the, when you're in one document, you can get to the other one quickly. That's all I'm doing right now. I'm kind of viewing it from your side. That's one reason we do this training this way. Not what I meant to do. All right, I'll put this into the sheets later. But anyway, so we're walking through this with you to see it from your side. What I want to do is I'm going to open the form, and I'm going to drop the form questions into this question sheet. So wherever you are, wherever you are, you have all the tools. So what all of this is about is getting you through that conversation with the seller, getting you through that conversation about the property, getting you to collect the data. And we already covered in a different video. Again, this stuff is kind of cumulative. We covered that when you're running down the form, it's going to ask questions like, what's the Google link? What's this? What's that? What's the batch leads value? What's the Zillow value? That's a process that you're not doing live with the seller. You're doing afterwards. And really, that is the game when it comes down to what we do. When you're on your Facebook account, take stuff that I put out, take stuff that Ryan puts out, take stuff that other places out there. When you're taking stuff, and I'm going to save this picture because it's my daughter from a long time ago. When you're taking stuff from any other source, especially from any other source, take it when you're taking stuff, just give credit. So when you're stealing stuff. Now, this is my personal account. I do stuff like Rock's Cheetah Socks here. I do a lot of real estate here too. My REI homepage, I never post personal stuff. My Steve's REI homepage is pretty much all real estate. Like, here is something you could put on your homepage. You could, hit share, steal the link. It doesn't talk necessarily about real estate you're looking to buy or sell. That's an important post as well, don't get me wrong. But it talks about real estate. And you're putting that on your business page. Your personal page, keep it clean. Don't be too kinky on it, but that's you. Your business page is business. You sharing this wouldn't help you, but if there's an article about like, for example, I don't want to send people to a competitor's brokerage firm, but at the same time, this is a first-time homebuyer workshop. We're not running one. You could use that. Or if there's an article about the market changing. I was hoping one would pop up that somebody posted about the market changing or whatever. Great. You find it on Forbes. You find it on Realtor.com. You find an article. You post it. You talk about it. You make comments on a regular basis about real estate in the community. You make comments on a regular basis that you're a buyer of real estate in the community. that you can help people solve their real estate problems. We're looking for tired landlords. You know, so I mean, this is a good one. And if you were to send this to me, I could tell you why. But that's a death trap. Okay. Whatever's on the other end of that wire could kill everybody in the house. Now, I have a background in live production television. I won't say I haven't done something equally as stupid or stupider on a temporary, purpose built basis. I've done just that thing. Okay. And for those of you who don't know what you're looking at, these are the regular breakers that the humans use. This goes to an outlet, this goes to a light switch, like that. This is your main breaker. This is 20 amps, 30 amps, or 20 amps, 15 amps, whatever they are. This is virtually unlimited voltage and amps up here. This is your main breaker for your house. So that's saying that as much power as whatever's on the other end of this wire wants to draw, these wires are going to deliver. And if you draw too much, you have the world's longest fuse because the entire wire has to melt before, well, maybe not before the fire starts, but before it stops running current. So you don't do this. There's no good reason. I would have drawn the power, and even in the roadie days, I would have drawn the power from down here. I would have had the 100 amp breaker. I would have had the other breaker. I would have had breakers ahead of me. But the point is, this is a great thing to paste this over, share this over, and say, hey guys, just so you know, bad plan. I buy and sell houses all the time. I've seen this and worse. So you want to do that because you want to be visible to say, I'm a knowledgeable person in real estate. And the more visible you are, the better. The more you can be known in your community. And here are the kinds of groups you're going after, just to be groups and pages. Real Estate Community Network PA, that happens to be my group. That is a group that is for investors, property investors group. These are where your buyers are going to be more than anything else, okay? That's just where your buyers are going to be. Off-market self-storage deals. These are buyers and sellers, but it's self-storage. They're all investors. But that's a great place. I want to buy real estate. I want to buy self-storage. So I'm in there. I don't run as many deals as I'd like to, but I'm in there. Bad tenants and landlords in Luzerne County. Okay, if I'm looking for buyers, maybe the tenants are there. If I'm looking for sellers, maybe the landlords want to sell. But it's still an industry branding conversation. I don't think I have this page in as many town groups as I have this page, my main page. And I'll have in here Pittston. Groups like this. You join them or you're in them or whatever. And these are the groups you're getting to know the humans who live in that town. And these are the groups where you're able to say, hey, I'm looking to buy a house. Hey, if anybody needs that. And you're sharing things that are relevant to individuals. You're sharing things about interest rates. You're sharing things about stuff that would matter to a person, not in the industry, but a person looking at real estate. So you want to be visible. And there is nothing at all wrong with putting a blunt ad up there. Oops, I just pushed the wrong button. And I just dumped these off my hard drive. Crap. Okay. I've got some graphics that I use that are basically We Buy Houses pages. And by the way, you can use ChatGPT or other AIs to develop these, but it's an image. It's an image designed to advertise for We Buy Houses. I just cleaned up my hard drive because it was full, so I moved a lot of the stuff off, and I probably shouldn't have. But anyway, so the point is that you are putting stuff out there that is aimed at attracting people, and you're doing this on Instagram, TikTok, whatever your other flavors are, you're doing it there. You are also, I know I rail against this, but you're also keeping one eye to what real estate in your area is for sale. Not necessarily that we wish to buy that real estate because it's already being advertised, but maybe. But more to get an idea of what else is out there, especially if you're a licensed agent and you're looking for feeding buyers or whatever. So this is ways you can use Facebook. So what I'm saying, guys, is this is a marketing business. We are giving you all the tools we can. We're also joining into, we have the Land OS. You want to play Land? We have that software. We're expanding that to be part of their weekly community on Land. So if you like Land, we have Land. We have our weekly community on self-storage. If you like self-storage, we have self-storage. So we have these tools. Please use them. The point is that right now, that's what's important. Now, I'm going to close this out real quick. We're going to run a little bit short today by showing you what would make the numbers on something make sense. Okay. And I'm going to pick these two houses here as an example, especially this one. I'm not going to look up the comps on this property. I'm going to look at this property and say, what would the comps have to be to make this price work? And I don't need you guys to do this, but I want you to be able to start to see rehab valuations. Okay, so first of all, overgrown as crap out here. So we've got, maybe the door can be painted. Probably the siding can be repaired. But you've got some work to be done out here. This thing, maybe it can be power washed and cleaned, but you've got some work on the exterior of this home. Just general deferred maintenance. Nothing horrible. Like that 1136, that is an insulation product that's exposed to the elements. It should have some siding over it. It should have some planking over it. It should have something over it. So you want to be, when you're looking at a house, you're saying to yourself, okay, and we are guessing. I'm looking at this and saying $5,000. $5,000, I got my outside done. Now I come in here, and you're just literally taking notes on a piece of paper. All right, ceiling fans bending down. By the way, that's a sign of long vacant, lack of use, and stationary sitting, and high humidity and uncontrolled temperatures. Basically, the cardboard those fans are made of is bending. So that's going to have to be replaced, or at least the blades are going to be replaced. Cabinets are missing doors. Can you replace the doors? Yeah, but it's really difficult to replace the doors. So I'm probably replacing cabinets. Not a huge kitchen, but I'm probably doing it. And when I replace cabinets, I'm probably going to guess that the countertop isn't all that great either. And, don't really love this layout of this kitchen because where's the fridge? But also, popcorn, it needs at least a paint, whether you peel the popcorn off. I'm looking at this door and I can see weather stripping issues. Okay. None of this is horrible. And I can see something going on. Oh, I'm sorry. That was just a hair on my screen. That wasn't actually going on. On my screen, there was a line here, and I thought, oh, great. They've got something pulling off that switch going up there. But, there's work to be done in this kitchen. Also, I'm just looking at these pictures, and here's how I do houses. I fly through the house first. I'm looking and saying, paint and flooring, 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 paint and flooring. Okay, so the whole house needs paint and flooring. I'm then looking at my kitchen that needs a redo, and I'll have looked at what the neighboring houses that have sold finished look like. Is it a granite? Is it a granite town? Is it a laminate town? What's the basic look like? And I'm saying, all right, I'm gonna go to my favorite subject here. This bathroom. Okay, I I think I'm hitting my head when I stand up on this toilet, or when I stand up from this toilet. Probably the only solution that needs is turning the toilet 90 degrees. Is there a sink in this bathroom? It needs one. You know, none of these are major problems. Is the tub fine there? The tub is fine there. But again, I'm looking and saying, this drywall is probably 4 feet high, so I'm 5-ish. Maybe at this end I'm a maximum of 6 feet tall. I'm not showering here. Certainly, I'm not. You might be. But I'm saying, all right, this room definitely needs more than paint and flooring. It needs paint and flooring, but it also needs drywall finishing. Truthfully, this drywall here is wrong. It should be green. None of this should be regular drywall. This should all be green, blue, or yellow, mold-resistant drywall. So right here, I've got $1,200 in drywall work before I even get to paint and flooring. And that's if I want to change nothing else in the entire bathroom. Okay, so I do have a sink. By the way, that's too close. Obviously, your ass is going to touch the sink. So I would replace this with a smaller, more almost dental sink over here a little bit, or maybe a small vanity, or maybe move it as a pedestal over a little bit. But okay, I got a sink, and this should be dry. I mean, this country stuff, if it was installed right, I wouldn't mind it, but it's not. So drywall. So all right, so that bathroom is probably $1,500 to $2,000 flip. Probably my guess. So that's what it's okay. So what I've got is 3-bed, 2-bath, let's say 1,200 square feet. So I got 12 grand paint and flooring. Actually, nowadays that was before tariffs. I got 18 grand paint and flooring. I got 5 grand outside. That's $23,000. I got a kitchen, pretty much a full redo. Let's say at least $7,000. So now I'm at 30 on this house. I've got one bathroom is another 2 grand, so 32. I've got another bathroom that probably needs some work, so 34. I've got probably some other things I'm not aware of. This is assuming the systems work. What's my roof like? Leaking, not leaking, under 15 years, not under 15 years, whatever. So I'm at 32. Maybe I'm at another, let's say I'm at 50. I really haven't met a flip that made it under 50 very often. All right. Now, so 72, taking their price point, 79, sorry. So 79, 79 is someone's purchase price. Plus 50, 130. Plus some holding costs, let's say 140. That has to be 2/3 of, or 70% of the sales price for the flipper to be happy if the flipper buys it at 79. So 140, half of that is 70. You add that on top, 210. 140 is 2/3 of 210. So I'm selling this thing for 210. Now I look and say, can I sell it for 210? So this is what we do when we look at what a property's worth. So we would look at it and say, okay, in the neighborhood of this property, Batch Lead says the house is worth $210,000. All right. So then 2/3 of 210, everything the flipper can have into it. The flipper, not us, the guy that actually does the work. He can be into it for 2/3 of 210 or 140. That's his top dollar. Bought, fixed, and done out the door. In order for him to have a viable business. 140. We got 50 grand of work, 50 grand off 140. Maybe he's into it for 90 max. Just the numbers. And we want some pad in there. So he probably wants to be in for 80. That's where someone's driving this particular price. And you can tell from this write-up that someone knows what's going on. So I would not be surprised if you ran a comp on this property that the comps were 210. So when after you're off the phone with the seller, you're very rare. We're not doing this live. Even I don't. We do some research. We call them back. But these are the kinds of things you're looking for when you're dialing through a property. Also, You look at things like, you notice this much space without railings, you start to question. You notice this much of a drop without railings. There's a step there. You can assume most steps are 6 to 8 inches. So that means this is 16 inches at least from there to ground. Could be more. How would you feel if you were backing up on this landing for some reason and all of a sudden there's no landing there and you fall 20 inches? You might feel like you broke your foot. So we want to consider, does this need a railing? We can't tell from a picture, but you have that in your mind. And this is not the point where you say, oh, I can get away without a railing. I can save $500. This is the point where you say, I need a railing. I'm going to lose $500 or $1,000 by putting up a railing on this. Because going into it, you want to harden that rehab estimate. You know, you want to say, I'm going to have to replace these cabinets. I'm going to have to replace this countertop. I'm going to have to, you know, I can't fix it. I'm going to have to replace it. You don't go, I can get away with it. You don't go crazy, but you look at this and say, all right, you know, I didn't even see like this missing drywall up here. Okay. Number one, why is it missing? Is that a leak from a toilet or a sink or a bathroom? 2 is how much does it fix? 3 is, I always ask when I have an opening like this that probably was a wall once. When I get there, I have to see if this is sagging. But right now, I'm now upping my repair estimate. I mean, we went up to 50, but if I was at 32, I'm suddenly at 35, 36 because I know I've got stuff like this. I've got anger holes punched in the wall throughout the house. So this is what we're looking for. We're looking at saying, okay. Now, the other thing we're looking here is we're saying, okay, and this is you can see right here, this window's down here, this window's up here. My guess, this actually used to be the kitchen because high windows were up, but anyway. You have a very small amount of distance from top of window to ceiling. Does that tell me I have low ceilings in this house? Ask yourself that, because if I have low ceilings, I have a lower potential sale price. Because people don't walk in and say, I feel great. This house feels huge around me. They walk in and say, my head's about to hit that light. This is a good sign here. This is electric heat. And that's the sound of, I hear from my computer needs a new battery. So as soon as I heard the plug fall out, I had to deal with it because it's going to go die. But electric heat's good because there's possibly no furnace. I look at this bathroom. Okay, what in holy hell is causing that to bend? This doesn't look like the best solution for a shower. So I'm probably, gut tells me I'm ripping this out and redoing it. Because first of all, this thing's ugly, this might clean up. It might clean up and be beautiful. It might look a lot better in pictures than I think it does, or in real life than it does in pictures. But it also might feel claustrophobic in there. I have to kind of walk in and turn. So I'm saying to myself, I'm going to go up a few grand because I'm going to assume I'm having to cut that up and do something with it. And, you know, okay, how do I feel about how this looks like the laundry setup over here? Nothing wrong with it. Is it 5 feet wide? 1836? Yeah, it's probably not 5 feet wide. I don't think I'm getting 2 machines in there. Do I know? Absolutely not. I don't know. Someone went through here trying to cause damage. Now that's a separate question. I'll get to in a second. But I'm looking at saying, okay, this bathroom automatically is not a $1,500 repaint. This bathroom's probably a $2,000 or $3,000 redo. Because I'm probably just, and realistically, if I'm doing it for flip, everything goes anyway. If I'm doing it for rental, maybe I can prime it. And these anger holes are they anger holes from a violent relationship? Or are they, fuck you landlord, fuck you bank, I'm going to destroy the house? And the reason that question matters, and I don't see enough damage here to believe this, but I bought a house one time where the owner bought it. He pulled out a rehab loan of like a stupid amount of money, big amount of money, ripped the pipes and electrical out of the wall. Like it was ripped from here to here. It was out. And then let the thing go to foreclosure. So he bought the house on a zero down payment loan. borrowed a fuckload against it. Yes, he's ruining his credit, but watch what he's doing. He's got $100,000 in repair money in his pocket. He then scraps whatever he can from the house, and he also pisses off the bank because now they're getting back a piece of shit. And he doesn't care about his credit. But he's walking away with $100,000 from the transaction. Can he be sued for it? Yes, but whatever. So when I see anger holes like this, I wonder, did they break something? I won't know till I get there, but I wonder that. So right now, this is basically how you walk through a house, and this is the kind of stuff you look for. And you also look and you say, okay, look at this flooring. Now, I assume paint and flooring on everything I touch. So that's already built into our number. $15 a square foot, we're done. If this was vinyl, this would probably survive. You see some curling at these edges. So that's probably cardboard. And cardboard flooring, which is what non-vinyl flooring is, cups. Doesn't hold up as well. You also look at how they lived. They lived by sleeping on mattresses. Okay? So the house was ridden hard and put away wet. You also have to look into questions of sewer. So it's well and septic. Okay, that's huge right there. Your owner tells you well and septic. Immediately there's more risk here. Because first of all, is the well, are they any good? Second of all, will the town be okay with them when the flip is done? So part of the due diligence is, is the town going to make the septic be replaced or anything? So anyway, so this is kind of how you tour through a house and see what it looks like as putting together a rehab estimate. That's pretty much what I had for today. Any questions, guys? All right, we'll see you all tomorrow. Any questions? All right, call me later if you got any questions or text me if you got deals. Thanks. Bye.